and I really respect it. So he will be talking about the CGI perspective as a tech lead because he's a motion graphics supervisor at Ian Studios. They do really nice projects actually. Recently, I'm not sure if you'll be talking about it, but I think it was from Ian Studios, this Fortnite map of Poznan.
Yes, it was.
So if you heard about it, this is actually cool. It's like a one-to-one representation. Not sure if it's one-to-one, but it's quite similar. So they do a lot of nice projects. So let's hear what Professor will be saying.
Thank you very much. I see the pizza was so delicious that we almost lost half of the crowd. Thank you very much for the people who are still here with us that you've stayed. Hopefully, or maybe not. Well, I don't need a microphone, do I? Works or not. Okay, titles, degrees, and everything are wonderful. Yes. However, this is just the part of the journey. Doctor engineer, but more importantly, I like to refer to N Studios and the people I'm managing as my dungeon. Computer generated imagery. Who has seen Avatar? Raise your hand. Okay. Lord of the Rings? Okay, and The Mandalorian? CGI. Yes, CGI. It's an adventure, especially for everybody who think it's so easy. It can be. However, there's a lot of auxiliary work done there, not only IT specifically, because computer-generated imagery, like filming is hard, you know. There is approximately 60, oh.
Yeah.
During our last shoot, we had 64 different people, 64 different jobs done. 1/5 of them were people from directly IT. And everybody needed to cooperate. It wasn't so easy, but it was fun. It's an adventure, a real adventure. But when you manage to do it, this happens. No sound? Okay. Okay, how many people did take part in this project? Any ideas? We're good, but not that good. Okay, 2, 51. Give me numbers. 10. 30. Okay, you are close, 14 people. 14 people altogether, and Mateusz being one of those people who made this movie. And we had people from directly Unreal Engine 5, people from props management who know shit about IT. They don't really care, but they need to build those real objects, which we are going to make real also in virtual world. So they look similar. And also people who got us food. Imagine that. You need a assistant coordinator who takes care of us that we eat. Maybe not healthy, because pizza, but still that we gotta eat. And we got the production running. We need the flow. There is also the marketing and management side of the project. And guess what? All of those people in this huge bag need to talk with each other. What is more, not only talk, but understand each other. So this is yet another challenge for you to not only know your stuff, but know how to sell yourselves. So all of your colleagues know where in the project, like Michalina said, or how Oswald suggested, if you're working in an environment with stable processes, so everybody's on the same page. Working? Probably. In my dungeon, usually, these are the stuff that we're getting. Oh, wait, this is for after you sign the contract, before you see it. Matthew relates, yes, Matthew relates. But the jokes aside, this is something that awaits you in the said IT. IT 20 years ago, and I'm talking about 40 years ago because I was born back then, but 20 years ago looked a little bit differently. We had more of Draculas. We will be searching for the admins somewhere here, yes, but not anymore. A lot of jobs that I didn't even imagine would exist in 2003 when I was finishing my studies. Now they are live. For example, AI prompter is the hot prospect of a job now. How much do you think an AI prompter, experienced prompter, earns? How much money?
I hope not more than 100K.
If somebody is really proficient, then yes, he'll earn like 10K, and I'm talking euros per month. But you need to be proficient. So how am I going to know in which to be proficient? One of you just asked me this question. You never know. Look what, when pandemic hit, how it changed the spectrum of our lives. Offline work, done back at home, it looked like, oh, he's going to fake the job. Now, this is normality. You can get a job done back at home and nobody will look bad on you unless you do your job. So you have to still be autonomous, but still teamwork, autonomous teamwork. Everybody needs to be on the same page. And when we are hiring, this Oswaldo was saying exactly next to this table when we're discussing with some of you. So I encourage you, when you attend to such meetings, ask us. We're not here just for fun. Oh, okay, let's make this presentation. Did they hear it? Okay, fine, bam. Let's go to next presentation. No, we're doing it also for us, because maybe in the future, one of you will be our employee, a valuable employee that is looking on the horizon, being proficient in looking, and a team member. Not only you need the hard skills, you can argue, you need the hard skills, yes. But if you do not have enough soft skills, you cannot cross-communicate, and I will prove it just in a few steps, you're not going to get successful. You need people not only to like you, maybe not like. Who watches sports from time to time, team sports? Raise your hand. Team sports. Imagine football. Do every footballer like everybody from his team? Not necessarily. And still, those teams manage to cooperate with each other and win the Champions League, the World Cup, the same volleyball. Not everybody likes each other, but they're professionals. Have you seen Mythbusters? What was Mythbusters?
Proving myths wrong or correct.
It was a series, scientific maybe you can call it. The two leads hated their guts. They hated each other, but they remained professional. Autonomous teamwork, because they both of them, they excelled in their field, but still they remain professional. Self-improvement. And no, nobody will give you a fixed Dr. Edgar recipe how to make the cake. Where should you improve? No. But I can give you one hint that one of my very first professors told me, Michael, you're good at this, and that. Pick one. and excel at it. So if you're looking for a language programming, yes, you're looking for a specific language. Maybe for you is Python, for you is Rust, there is C++, we can Golang, mix and match. Become good, a little bit good in one, and it will help you excel maybe at the other one, which is maybe not yet present, or you haven't discovered it yet. And at my line of work, we have sinusoidal dynamics. Did anybody of you here surf on a board, on wave surfing? Some of you shaking head. So those people, before my injury, I also surfboarded. We looked funny. We're sitting in a bar for 3 days straight. So actually they came surfboarding, or they were just came here to drink alcohol. You don't need much of an excuse to drink a lot of alcohol, do you? Yes? But still, suddenly the wave appeared, and we were sliding on the waves whole day long, and we're almost dead out of exhaustion. Because this is how it looks at filmmaking. You have sinusoidal dynamics. You get a project, and for a few days there is no project after the last project ends. But when it hits, oh boy, there is a lot of work. And you need to improve yourself all of the time, because you never know which part, from 3D graphics, from rendering, whatever you name it, going to need. Just in time. And when I'm referring is just in time, just my job, no. Stemming back from teamwork and autonomous work. Just in time for everybody else in the team to do their part too. So this is why you need to communicate with each other. Okay, we have 2 weeks to do it, so I'll do it in 11 days. Maybe no, maybe you're already late and it's the third day, because your part of the job needs to be done. Because when the film makers actually come, the people who operate the real camera, maybe they already need the Unreal Engine 5 environment. Maybe, some of you told me just recently, we're printing shit. So maybe the design was already to be made in ArchiCAD and already being printed, not only once, but when you're doing film production, you need spares. Because actors are clumsy and they destroy the stuff that you print out 3D. Reactivity. I know that we sometimes, I hate this guy. He can fall on his face and damage whole of his face, yes? But unfortunately, you need to remain professional. You need to sometimes, I have to save his butt. If we don't do this implementation, if we do not commit in our database now, it's going to fall apart. Have you seen the risitas meme? This old Spanish guy who was making fun? I recommend watching risitas doing on IT work. It's wonderful. This is exactly that. If people don't communicate, especially project managers. By the way, what's the definition of a project manager? Who is this? Well, yes. A straight answer. Excuse me, you're going to be an engineer, yes? Okay, we can see that. Oh, well, so he's not actually a good PM, because either you don't see the PM and everything is running smoothly, so either he's a very bad PM or a very, very good one.
It's rather untroubled.
Yes, but still fits. I've heard it once, yet another definition. A PM manager is a guy or a woman or an entity that comes and, you know what, I've heard a woman needs approximately 9 months to give birth, so 9 women will give me birth in 1 month. So this is how PM managers work. They think around the whole subject, and this is where you come in. If you're just the software engineer. Excuse me, my dear PM, who gets paid 10 times more than I do, which is absolutely not wonderful, but we won't deliver it. This is where you come into place, reactivity. You need to react. We cannot deliver it just in time, but we're going to get the project for 10 days. I'm a member of a team, and I autonomously know how to make this part of this small shit. I know it the best, and I'm telling you, we ain't gonna do it. This is how it works in showbiz industry. which is relying heavily on playing with the code. Yes, I know that students hate this word. When you receive sometimes multiple questions from different, and this happens a lot, from different managers that come to you and ask for favors when they're giving you tasks to be done. You need to prioritize. Okay. Your precious resource is time. Okay, you get paid at the end of the month or weekly. I don't know where you work or you're going to work, but the money is the end product. Earning a lot of money, okay, everybody now started watching me, wonderful. Earning a lot of money is the end product of your skills. And you get rated high and then paid a lot of money, hopefully for you, because you know your shit. And you know how to prioritize this, because you know I hate this, and it's going to take the most of my time. So your precious resource is time. You need to know that, oh, I'll manage it. You'll tell it to 5 different managers, and some of them will be in contradiction to each other. And you need to prioritize. Because if you don't, you won't deliver. And guess what? You deliver 100 times, they won't even remember you. But if you do not deliver at least once, somebody, a project manager, will be pissed and he won't forget you. Sure as that. Cross-softwaring. Oh my God, how many software do you think we use?
Something for the motion tracking, something for the video montage, all that stuff. I would say around like 5 types.
10 maybe? 10, I think.
This is just a small piece of the cake, what we're doing. Pajamas. You have seen already the pajamas with those dots. This is how you make a virtual production motion capture. You need to put on the pajamas, those markers, and then maybe the cameras will see what you're doing. But the rest, look, front and back, because when a project hits, you need to do probably a website, yes? So somebody has to devote their time, and it has to be working maybe for a long period of time, and they're going to gather data. So we have the bag, so full stack developers are, yes, money, money, money. But also 2D and 3D animations. Rendering farm, what's a rendering farm?
It's like cloud, but for rendering. So you have multiple servers just used for a single project rendering.
Guess what? And we even need this old school IT guy who doesn't see sunlight at all, because he needs to take a look for the website. It should be still on, because when the promotion hits and when people enter it, I also ask Atak and other of my students, how long, I can ask all of you here, how long can you spare from your time? For how long can you fill out a survey? 10 minutes?
Less.
Less. How many minutes? 2 to 5. 2 to 5? Somebody else? I recently heard that anything above 1 minute, I'm just gonna click it. Do you read the end user agreement when you install an app?
No.
They even stopped this security stuff that you needed to scroll down so the button of agree can appear. No, they don't even do that. When somebody, if somebody told me 5 years ago I'll have to cross-connect as a manager, all of those, I would probably say no. But this is my life now. And truth be told, I started more or less like Oswaldo. He said that he was a printer serviceman. I started my first studies in logistics because IT studies were only for a very few 20 years ago. If you weren't super cool at maths, so at least 98 points out of 100, you didn't have a chance to get a good university. Collegium da Vinci was still new. Yes, it was impossible. If somebody told me that I won't be running my big trucks because I was a wingman, but what did I do? oh, IT looks nice. So I learned German, English, and French during driving this car all around Europe. And I started small with C++, which I don't do anymore because I hate it. So my first choice was bad, even very bad, I would say. Yes? Very, very bad. And when this is no mistake, the whole Autodesk. What do we have in Autodesk? We have 3ds Max, we have Motion Builder, we have Maya. And why? Because guess what? When the customer comes and he says, I'm paying you a lot of money, but my softwares that I'm using are, he's playing banjo, okay, we don't have, don't have, okay. And we work strictly in a specific way. Sometimes when customers come to your environment, they say, okay, for 1 week, you're our slaves. You're going to do it our way or the highway. This is life. On what currency do we have this? You have your smartphones. Google it. Show me that you can. On what type of money do you see this? They call them smartphones. I call them stupid phones because they made people stupid. What currency has this? US dollars. Even the Chinese currency doesn't have from anyone. Imagine that. This was shot for a Pfizer conference. Drugs, yes? And an LED screen in the back. And the customer was on site, making everybody pissed off. But it was necessary. This is Motive software used in motion capture. But it has a direct plug-in to Unreal Engine 5, thank the gods. Nothing spectacular, isn't it? So as you can see, some stuff that you're going to do in your life is not that spectacular, but very much necessary. This was done for a conference, medical conference, for people who were really sick. And they wanted to have stuff explained by an AI. In order to do that, you need to record those prompters who would point in the direction, well, the whole flow of how the medicine, how the drug is working. Oh, yes, and the matrix of relation. Look how many people, look how many departments. And big projects, manpower. There is a joke. Does anybody here attend concerts? Musical concerts, for example? Okay, I do from time to time. There is the lights guy and the audio guy, yes? If you want to ask for light, you don't ask the audio guy. And when you want to talk about audio, you don't ask the lights guy. The same is here. Look how many people need to keep cooperating. And like Michalina said and Oswaldo, it's very important to know the roots, the history, and the importance of your company, because probably the product that you're landing for the customer needs to have specific features. What my code really doesn't need? Yes, it does. Does it need to be spectacular or simple as hell? two spectrums. This is just a short view of what is inside. And there is no joke. Juniors here are the main force in the pre-productions. Because pre-production, like the name suggests, is before we make the shoot. So there is a little more time for error. So this is the space where you can teach the juniors, just like some of you here, to make mistakes, even encourage them to make mistakes. Did you hear about Michael Jordan? He is regarded as what? The GOAT, yes? The GOAT. How many championships did Michael Jordan win in the NBA? How many seasons did he play? Not 6. 15. So what with the rest of the seasons? Was it a waste of time? No. This is the place. Logistics and pre-production. To use people less experience. So if you're vying for a position, maybe this is a can opener for you. Recently, I made an event here at Collegium da Vinci for the Polish-speaking part of the community, and I made 8 offers for unpaid. Unpaid. I know that it sounds hard for IT. I should get paid for my internship. Well, not necessarily. You can get paid for your internship if you possess some skills. And trust me, when we, like Osvaldo said earlier, we hate it when you give yourselves 4 out of 5. Oh, really? You're 4 out of 5 in Python? Because when you have 5 out of 5 in Python, you're as good as those people who created this language. So are you really 4 out of 5 if you're giving yourselves in a specific software? Sometimes being just as much or as only as being frank with your skills, but you can show that you are eager, you have passion, and I really do recommend work wherever you like, because either you have the huge triad, yes, study for students, study, have some sleep, party, pick 2. However, when you're going to work, regardless of the job you're picking, either being a nurse, IT specialist, policeman, you have 3 options to choose from. Either get the correct money that you think is correct at the time you're being, either you're going to develop your skills in this specific field you want to remain for the rest of your life, or have fun doing it. Pick at least one. If nothing is there, then probably there is something wrong happening. Of course, you can have 3 at the same time, but at least one should be in place, because you're going to feel very burnout. And cooperating with so many people, it will be very easy to see that you're being burned out. You don't like this. And trust me, sometimes the job is mundane and organic as hell, and seeing people who come to work and they're unhappy about it, it doesn't help. Of course, I have given some examples. This is not all. But look how crazy this industry is. We need somebody to understand the very basics and fabrics. We need backenders. We need people who just do rendering, nothing else. We go to front-enders. Those people who worked in backend hate those people who work in front-end, and the opposite. And not only I have to make those people cooperate, I also make the others who don't really understand IT. Marketing specialists, do they understand our stuff? Very rarely. Very, very rarely. Blessed are those who have marketing specialists who understand this. The matrix. So many features, so many tasks, and the matrix was really ruthless, 93%. Gone are the times when really you can sit somewhere in the background and do some stuff just only by yourself. Ain't gonna happen, man. But there is hope. Look at this project. The famous T-pose. You do the T-pose in motion capture. And then the computer, okay, this is like calibration. This is how you calibrate the person. How many people were involved in this small project? More than one, okay. How many? No. 12? Less. Exactly 5. And I really, as a supervisor, I didn't really need to help them. We just did it in 5 people. 3 of them didn't even see each other. Yes, so such projects also do happen. But still, they needed to cooperate with each other on some point. You can go small too. Probably some of you know those people. Loczek and Loczniki. This was the event. They hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube. So they made a live stream, questions and answers. They became themselves in the virtual environment. So how many people were needed in this project? 4, even less. 4 people, 4 specialists. Okay, why is working in this said industry very proficient for people in IT? You have up-to-date hardware and software as well, but we'll get to that. Not everybody will be blessed working on the newest framework, newest stuff. But really, doing an internship, as long as you get your skills up, you don't need the newest hardware. You need people who will guide you. As long as the projects are interdisciplinary. Look at how many things we need to cope with back at N Studios. We need somebody who does understand IT to build us the props that then we'll make virtual. We need people who know how to play with sound. Oh, but they do use computer. Of course, everybody now uses computer, yes? But they don't really need to know. Experience leads. Sometimes it's maybe worth to get less paid or not being even paid at all. I know, I'm talking corporate. Because at least you're developing. Sooner or later, you will be paid for your skills. But you first need to obtain them. Not every internship is paid. Versatile conditions, what does it mean? Just what Michalina said, you're going to shift. You need to have the opportunity to change the posts, to take a look on the same stuff that you know, maybe from different positions. Sure as hell 20 years ago, if somebody told me you're going to become motion capture supervisor and a lecturer and do a PhD even, ain't gonna happen. I was 100% sure it was the time of logistics taking over of the entire Europe. 1 year after Poland went to the European Union, it was a wonderful time to work in logistics. Now, still it's very good, but not as proficient as IT. Oh, it's messed up. As you can see, I'm not so proficient with my presentation. I made a mistake. And yes, this is yet another feature very important. You need to identify your mistakes and you need to be frank about them. Supervisors hate it when somebody says, I didn't do it. Oh, come on, we're living in the age of open Google Docs, where you can see who contributed what, at what time, at what second. Be frank about it, because the sooner we can identify the problem, the sooner we can solve it. And if you gain the trust of your superiors, you will get the opportunity to correct your mistakes. You can either be right or solve the problem. Of course, both can happen. But people who are in the lead prefer the second option. Solve the problem first. If you're right at it, hats off to you. Back, feedback society. Hey bro, I stole your code. It wasn't mine, yes? Famous. We're living in a feedback society. 20 years ago, when I was trying to learn C++, I only had books. Because Google was present, Wikipedia was not bad, but everything is way better now. And people are not hoarding information, I'm not telling you. Sometimes you can just Google the answer to your problem. I'm almost finishing, Atakan. So we can get feedback, and it's very easy, LinkedIn. 20 years ago, a person like Osvaldo or Michalina or me would tell you, who are you? You're my LinkedIn? I don't know you, man. Now you can just prompt by, you can get a QR code, you can ask, can I send you a LinkedIn? Fine, sure. Why not? The networking part. Be a member of the networking society. Sometimes you have to give some to get some back. What really angers me now, 20 years ago, we were thinking, okay, everything is going to get better now. Smartphones, everything. But the more we get technology, the less people reanalyze what they did. Okay, I made a mistake, I have to reanalyze and correct it. But how many people do reanalyze a success? My code is not working. I don't know why. My code is working. I don't know why. Yes? Reanalyze what you did. Time mastery. Oh, yes. Time is a precious resource. For example, I was hesitating. I knew Matthew is going to do a wonderful work with the camera, but I value his work very high. So I was hesitating either to call him for help from N Studios. But I wanted it done safely, so I took his hours from his internship. I wish you all to be valued as much as I value Matthew. Unorthodox challenges. There is a saying for paratroops, paradroppers. What are paratroopers, paradroppers? Have you watched The Band of Brothers? Yes. They were jumping with parachutes. They asked, aren't you afraid of being surrounded by enemy? We're paradroppers. We're supposed to be surrounded. Be that. And it doesn't matter if you're an ambivert. I'm an ambivert. I like to be hidden in a small room. But when the time comes, I like to be very expressive. Extroverts talk all of the time. Introverts don't need to talk all of the time. But please, giving alcohol to an introvert won't make him into an extrovert. He'll just be a drunken introvert, okay? Let's stay at that. So be unorthodox, but be yourself at the same time. Do unorthodox challenges, because this is something that will differentiate on the market. And when I'm looking for somebody for a post, I'm not just looking for a 3D graphic. Yes, I'm looking for one, but what are you proficient at? At cars, food, landscapes, movement. So not only pick the big stuff, but also the small ones as well. And yes, working at this type of, from this IT part, pride and prejudice and prestige. Yes, oh, I've made the movie. I made the shooting of Cocodrillo, for Pfizer, for Żabka, for Mercedes, Yves Saint Laurent, you name it. Some people really do like to present themselves during Christmas parties or whatever. I hope you enjoyed at least the DevFest for now. If you have any questions, I will be in the back after the presentation. I'll gladly answer any questions you have. Thank you very much.